Hello everybody. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, I think that we're good to go here. Okay, connection's good. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's session. So we're gonna jump right into trading and we're gonna do the Q&A along with it. We're gonna be switching to trend mode here. Going to be marking out, switching to regression mode here for this micro range. We're gonna be also, I switched to a MIT execution strategy for our ATM strategy. So for our ATM strategy, when we have a profit target, it is now a market order instead of a limit order. This is going to help us avoid when we get a partial fill or when we just touch our take profit but we don't get filled. So that should help us quite a bit in that regard. But looks like the market is moving a little bit slow right now, so might as well jump right into the Q&A itself. So we got over 150 questions today, so I don't know if I'm going to answer all of them or be able to, but I am going to try to get through as many as possible. So let's just go to the top. First question. So this is a question about the machine learning update that is coming soon. You guys asked, will this update be free for anyone who has bought Polarity? Yes, this update is going to be a complimentary update that we are not going to be charging for anyone who already owns it. The price will be increased by the end of the month when we do drop the update because, you know, we spent a lot of money developing it. So, however, we are not going to be charging anyone who already owns it. How does the machine learning work and how can we backtest to validate it? And this viewer also asked, we'll be able to disable the machine learning if we do not like it. Yes, absolutely. You can absolutely disable the machine learning if you are not happy with how it is trading. The machine learning is an optional tick box that you can enable, and you'll also be able to train it based off of your own trading. Actually, that's a required part of it, is that as you trade, it will continually learn from where you are making mistakes and your market trading style, and it will adjust settings accordingly. So I think that's pretty sweet. It'll also ensure that you guys are getting unique setups. Hold on, let's just see here. We might get a trend mode switch here if we close out of this bar. So we did not have a trend switch there, unfortunately. So this viewer asked, there are instances where it is a clear trend up or down, yet if you entered using the trend button, you end up losing the trade. Logically, following the rules, entering regression at that state does not make sense. I'm not talking about just one candle. I think you've experienced that a few times. How would you go about it and what else would you look for? So the thing with this question is that I think it implies that, okay, sorry guys, my fire alarm's going off there, so that's super unfortunate. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. False alarm there. Had to deal with that real quick. So, unfortunately, kind of a slow market today, but it'll give me time to answer these questions. So, issue with that is I think that it implies that you should assume a 100% win rate even though you do the exact rules of the strategy. You're not going to get a 100% win rate with any strategy even if you're following it correctly. That's just not the nature of the market, and I think that as long as you're following the rules, you shouldn't have to worry about individual trade losses, even if they are consecutive, because the rules of probability state that given a large enough trade size or a large enough amount of data, even if you have a high win rate, you will eventually lose a certain amount of percent of trades in a row. So it's unfortunate. But that's just part of trading, because of course if you're making more money, oh, hold on, let's switch the trend here. Please tell us what each parameter does in 2 lines and show us how to reach optimized values. So each parameter, let's just go through the basic 3. That's going to be imbalance ratio, imbalance volume, and adversary detection. So imbalance ratio is just the ratio in between the high and low side of the imbalance calculation. Let's say that it would be 8 and 36 here, or 11 and 51. Sorry. And that would be the calculation of what it's compared to. So if you have it on ratio mode, it would just be a simple multiplier. So for 11, you had ratio on 3, you would need at least a 33 on this side in order to get an imbalance on that area. So I think that's pretty simple. And minimum imbalance volume is even simpler. It's just the minimum amount on the high side that you need to get a fill. Adversary detection is more proprietary, and it does involve trying to avoid spoofing. So I wouldn't be able to disclose the exact math behind that, because that would give our competitors kind of an edge over us. We've worked very hard to develop that, so wouldn't be able to disclose the actual formula behind that. It is a little bit more advanced than a lot of you guys might think. I've seen some assumptions about that, but increasing the value decreases the sensitivity, increases the sensitivity for filtering, and decreasing it lowers the sensitivity. How would the machine learning development improve our trading? Would it be fully automated? Then what would be released? Thanks. So the machine learning update will allow you guys to no longer have to fiddle with any settings, even though I think that there has generally been a very small amount of quote unquote fiddling with settings in the general. I mean, I didn't change my settings for over 6 months in the past year. So settings don't actually matter as much as you guys think. It's more so following the rules of the strategy and tuning it so that you get a certain amount of fills per day. You can see here that I'm really just not getting filled into any trades, and in order to remedy that, you would want to decrease adversary detection, and that would just increase the amount of trades you get. This doesn't actually have a direct correlation with win rate. Also, guys, if you guys wanted to attempt to copy my trades in real time, that would lead to some issues. So let's say that I got into a trade, and then let's see how many viewers we got right now. 203 concurrent viewers decided to fade that trade and get into it at the exact same time. That would lead to a massive influx of contracts going into the market, and I would get a massive advantage, and I would get filled, and I would basically make money off of your loss. So that would be highly illegal, and there would be a lot of regulatory speculation against that. So that's exactly why I can't do that. Hope you guys understand that it would move the market significantly in my favor. We've done a market impact model on exactly what would happen, and it would actually be quite catastrophic for the bottom 50% of the people who got filled last. So that it would be suboptimal, to say the least, for everyone involved except for the top 20%. How would you scale up your contract size if you started with a 5K account? How many trades do you take per day? And would it be a number of trades or a specific profit target? I like this question a lot. I think that managing your risk in terms of scaling is very, very important. If you're just starting with the strategy and you don't have any experience with it, jumping into the maximum amount you can take with a 5K account isn't really the best option. I would start by scaling it into it slowly. Let's say for ES, you would use one contract, start slow, build yourself up a cushion. You don't really want to get a drawdown into your initial capital basically ever. So once you have a $500 cushion, because you already have $5,000 in your account, you do have a pretty decent amount of mental cushion and an actual cushion. So I would scale up to 2 contracts at that point, all the way up to 7,500. Once you get 7,500, I'd go to 3, and then 10K, you would do 4, and then I actually wouldn't scale up again all the way until 18,000. 18,000, you scale up to 5. And I actually wouldn't scale up again until 50,000. I think that's a very, very healthy amount of contracts to use for ES. And that's a very good progression table. How many trades did I take per day in terms of that? I would try and target 10 trades per day, I think that's a very, very healthy amount. It doesn't keep you on the screen too long, keeps the anxiety low. Wow, super unfortunate here, guys, not getting any fills. That's very, very frustrating, but you know, that's just how it is. I think that we're definitely going to need to switch it back into regression mode. I haven't been paying that much attention recently because I've been answering these questions, but sorry about that. Are there days when you look at the chart and say, nope, I won't trade this? Yeah, absolutely. If the market is just not moving at all, or the market is about to receive a massive news impact day. By the way, guys, trading off of market microstructure during a news release is a horrible idea. Do not suggest it, because then macro factors are at more of a factor than market microstructure is in terms of moving the market. So you're gonna see your edge pretty much fade away if there's a big news day. Stay away from Fed meetings and anything like non-farm payroll and stuff like that. If you were going to trade those days, I would suggest using a much broader take profit and stop loss, and I would really only use trend mode. I wouldn't use regression mode during that time. And do I change my settings depending on the market condition? Absolutely. So this hasn't really been done recently, but if you're seeing a consecutive number of bars where volume is much lower, let's say that like the average bar has, you know, 209 all the way up to 278 on both sides there, all the way up and down. You're going to want to increase your minimum and balance volume, because in that case, you are not going to be successfully filtering out bad trades. You're just going to, everything's going to be considered an imbalance. Now with with that new machine learning update, you won't have to do that, but that's pretty much I'm targeting a certain number of trades per hour, basically. It's not looking to try and optimize based off of the market movement, just trying to optimize based off of actual tradable data. Wow, market is just completely at a standstill today, guys. So sorry about that. Not super fun to watch, I bet, but this is what it is. If GEX VIX vol change drastically, then you should adjust. But still, even when I look at them and realize that there are changes and realize this is not a normal day, how will I know to correctly set the numbers of the system? So basically, today is a perfect example of a day where I don't have the correct settings. Much harder to remedy than having the incorrect settings and getting too many fills. You're going to want to look at the actual market movement and see if you are actually getting filled into the number of trades that you want to or not. So if based off of the VIX, if the volatility is high, you're going to want to increase the minimum balance ratio and the adversary detection. You wouldn't really touch minimum balance volume in that case. This guy asked what the math is between minimum balance and correct settings. So the AC4 Plus, should they be changed at the same time as Polarity ATI V6? Generally, yes. You don't have to, as they don't communicate with each other. Polarity has its own fill logic compared to what's it called? The AC4 Plus. But yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna grab some water really quick. Can I have, sorry guys, I'm back now. So to continue reading questions here, can I have a trial for the software? Absolutely, we have a trial for the Analytica Chart 4 Plus, which is available in the link in the description, I think. If not, that's my bad, and I will put it in the description after. I'll have to check. We don't offer a trial and play just because they included education. It can't really download it, and then we can't exactly make you unlearn that when you finish that, but I think that makes sense. I don't have the same levels, a ton of levels on my chart. That would be due to the incorrect derived zone settings. I will send you guys, or I will post in the description, are my derived zone settings for this session. Is it a good idea to have 1 or 2 plus derived areas for stacked imbalances? I'd say 2 plus, definitely. 1 is not optimal at all. I don't even think it lets you put 1. Man, every time someone submits a new question, it moves me all the way to the top. So I read something and then I have to find it again. Sorry. Can we give you money to trade for us? What kind of return should we expect to get? No. Sorry. I won't ever take outside capital. I think that's a little bit shady, especially when you're taking it from retail traders. If I was ever going to start asset management with external money, it would be through accredited investors only, and it would be through a different seed round. I wouldn't advertise it. Definitely would be a capital limit. I don't even know if I would want to take on capital just because of the liquidity style of how I trade. But no. What are your plans for the future of FA? Do you have any new products coming out? Are you trading any more strategies? So we are working on some pretty interesting heuristic modeling stuff. We're going to try and perform some more advanced, I'd say, market forecasting by integrating a curated large language model into our strategy. So we're going to train that large language model on a large variety of academic journals based on trading. So we have vetted the information, and this basically cuts down a ton on research and integration, and then we would run the LLM to validate and integrate strategies to see if those hold promise. This gives us a second layer of protection against overfitting, especially because there's an actual fundamental reason why those strategies would be deemed to work based off of those curated academic journals that we'd selected. So it would help us against overfitting. It would basically allow for new alpha generation continuously throughout, I don't know, however long the market continues to trade in the current way it does. But even if it didn't, it would allow us to generate new alpha and continuously be able to make returns. We haven't had to switch anything up yet, but that's what we're working on right now, is that we're basically integrating heuristic modeling into our strategies. A lot of these aren't even questions, they're just comments. Do I still trade power hour at the end of the day? I try to. It depends. The volatility has not been ideal. Also, we switched to trend mode there. Going to see kind of an obvious breakout in this direction. So a lot of the reason why I don't really like trading power hour is that I actually like to get my day started a little bit earlier and be out the door by 10. So I just have other stuff I like to do, and it kind of makes me stay inside for the first, until 12 p.m. So not exactly my ideal morning. And also, if I want to trade it and I want to do something in the morning, I now have a deadline to get back to the house to trade. A lot of duplicate questions here. think that my polarity might not be configured correctly for today because there's no way that these trades are not triggering. I had to have selected something wrong. Maybe it's like trying to trade off of the micro contract or something like that. So give me a sec, guys. You know, I just think the market's moving too slow right now. Yeah, it doesn't look like I've configured anything wrong. That's just so strange. That's really bizarre. Super frustrating when days like this happen. I'm sorry that this is likely going to be the last live stream I do until next week, but if we don't get filled today, I'll have to trade Power Hour, and I'll have to figure that out because I don't want to leave off like this. Is there a way to configure polarity so that it only takes a trade if there's an active stacked imbalance in the candle when the bar closes? Yes, you would change the fill logic to do when upon bar close. How can we make sure that we have the correct settings for the strategy to work properly? So I've been hearing a lot of questions about settings, and I want to clarify something. The settings don't actually matter as much as you think they do. Over the past year, I've specifically made a point to not change my settings as much as I would, even though I could optimize them. If you review my older videos and my older streams, settings remain very consistent except when I'm switching asset classes. Or assets themselves. They don't matter as much as you think they do, and if you have the baseline settings like we recommend in the guidebook and you're trading the strategy the way it's meant to be traded, you aren't doing anything wrong. Are you still using the same stop PT20 trail stop plus -8? Yes, it's actually 18 now and 16. And then, or 16 stop loss, 18 take profit, and then with that trailing -8. And then we switched it to be based off of an MIT, so a limit order fill. Or sorry, a market order fill rather than a limit order fill. Can you elaborate, explain baseline knowledge before getting an automated tool, specifically to determine and understand the configuration like imbalances and similar concepts? Absolutely. So we have an intro to order flow series on our channel, and we also have the guidebook that comes with the strategy. Oh, looks like we got our first fill there. Wow, super interesting. And then we actually immediately get stopped out. That is kind of hilarious there. So that's unfortunate. I definitely should have been in regression mode there. I've been kind of distracted with trading this. So sorry about that, guys. That was a little bit disappointing, I'm sure, for you guys to watch, but is what it is. I'm sorry. So back to the point I was talking about was how can you get into it? So I highly recommend watching the beginner start here playlist on our channel. I would start with the hedge funds are banned with trading and then learn order flow in 20 minutes. With those two, you will have a very advanced baseline understanding of how the strategy works and how order flow works. And then you could go and get the strategy and then read the guidebook. Guidebook will supplement anything else you have, or supplement any questions you have, and it will fill out the gaps in your knowledge. Then I highly recommend running it on market replay and on sim for at least a week. This will help you get comfortable with the strategy and set you up for non-mental failure. So if you are jumping right into a strategy and you have no idea how to use it and you go right into live money, you're going to be very emotional and you're going to make decisions that are wrong and you're going to learn bad habits. So it's a very different style of trading than a lot of people are used to. So just gotta highly recommend that you guys do that to start. Thanks for the question. Why are you still in trend mode? Shouldn't you be in regression at the moment? Yes, I absolutely should. I'm sorry. I was a little bit distracted by the questions that forgot to actually trade the strategy. So that's my bad. Do you feel this new hyperscalp strategy is more profitable than the +9, -9 strategy? I don't remember trading a 9 tick strategy, but trying to remember. Maybe you're talking about points. But if you're talking about the old strategy, it would be a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. I wouldn't say that it's actually more profitable necessarily. I'd say it's just easier for me to trade, and I get more fills per day than if I were going to be trading this, or than the other one. Sorry guys, mine's all over the place. Just a little bit frustrated at how the trading itself is going. Not exactly a great session to give Q&As on behind, but I guess it gives me some time to concentrate on the questions themselves. How much impact does the data vendor have on polarity's performance? Rhythmic data seems to have a 2 to 3 second delay compared to yours. This is actually kind of important. So if you're trading on a prop firm though, the rhythmic delay isn't actually going to affect you. Do want to make that clear, because with a prop firm, you're not actually trading live money. If you guys knew that, even if you have passed your evaluation, you're trading on a quote unquote live sim, where they've actually just given you a sim account and then you're trading against them because they pay out from their own pocket. They're expecting you to fail, and you get paid based off of the evaluations and resets that people pay for. So, but I do not suggest using Rhythmic for live trading, because it's not like that. The volume on my broadcast is really low. Hold on, let me try and fix that. That's my apologies, guys. I hope this is a little bit better. Testing. Let me know if that's better, guys. Thanks for the question. Would you consider going back to trading the open, because I am East Coast and cannot stay home until 10:30 a.m.? You know what? I'm super sorry about that. I really should be trading the open, but I'm going to be honest, if I want to be maintaining a consistent live streaming schedule where I'm giving commentary to, 6:30 a.m. was when the live stream starts. It's just not super sustainable for me in terms of both mental clarity and giving you guys actual commentary. Would mean I had to wake up at 5:30, and even then it's just still kind of a stretch. So possibly, I will say that possibly. So I will let you guys know if I plan to do that. I really should though. So thank you for the question. How do you ensure that the execution of a strategy itself does not affect the market itself, thus invalidating the edge? I actually love this question. So there's something called market impact modeling. There are a couple of, we've done our own modeling. We do meta order modeling. So this is all internal in our testing, but we've basically tried to validate the strategy's effectiveness outside of a simulated environment without doing so, because it's kind of impossible to not do it in a simulated environment when you're back testing 5 years. Can't exactly go back and make live orders, can you? So doing so, we've done meta orders to create a slippage model, and we incorporate level 2. Level 2 data historically is extremely hard to come by. I will say we paid a lot of money for that. Now, we don't use level 2 data in our live trading day to day, but when it is important to do so in order for us to get an accurate slippage model. I also highly suggest reading textbooks like Market Microstructure and Practice by Ellen Laurel, or Algorithmic and High Frequency Trading by A. Cartia, J. Jamingal, and J. Penalva. They provide insights into market impact modeling. This has nothing to do with actually trading polarity. This is just if you want to develop your own strategy. I enjoy the quant side of things, so always love when you guys pick my brain about it. It's something I actually enjoy talking about. So yeah, that's the answer to that. Market impact modeling is actually very, very important on small cap stock trading and penny stock trading, because you are a very significant liquidity consumer in that regard. Yeah, there's gotta be something wrong with my polarity today. I have no idea what's going on here. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. I promise that I will go live again today, guys, if I end this live stream before we get any trades. I want to give you guys a very, very strong session, regardless of the outcome. I mean, it's just so boring to watch and have nothing happen, especially when I'm pretty sure this is a technical issue. I probably set something up wrong. Have you tried trading polarity with ZN? Yes, absolutely. Yes, so trading polarity with ZN is going to be very different. It's going to be a very, very tight stop loss and take profit due to the tick size. I believe it's a $32 tick size and a $32 take profit. It's going to be different, but we do have some videos of us trading treasuries, actually. I've seen some of you guys get some strong success just trading ZN. It's really, really good in the first 30 minutes of market open, but the volatility kind of tapers off after that, so it becomes much more difficult to trade. When's the machine learning update coming out? By the end of the month. God, I'm just getting a lot of questions here, so it keeps resetting me back up to the top. Do you intend to increase the frequency of your broadcast each week? Yes, I plan to get to three trades per week, or sorry, 3 sessions per week. How much does your data provider affect the success of Polarity ATI? As long as your data provider does not have more than a 100 millisecond delay, very unlikely. If you're using Rhythmic, however, I mean, I don't want to badmouth them. I just don't really suggest them for usage of Polarity, unless you're on a prop firm, where that comment is not valid. So I don't really think a lot of you guys are using Rhythmic unless you're on a prop firm anyway. So. Have you come to Jesus yet as your Lord and Savior, Connor? Yes, absolutely. Been a lifelong Christian my whole life, and I'm very active in the community. Don't talk about it a lot just because, or at least what my acts are, because I think that's a form of self-gratification or self-righteousness that I'm not exactly a fan of. But yes, absolutely. We did a fundraiser for the $500 to $10,000 series, where at the end of it, we donated that $10K. You can validate that by looking at some of our videos still have it up. It's the World Vision donation box on the YouTube. That's validated. It goes straight to World Vision. It's just YouTube supported, so you can see that that donation actually did happen. What is the importance of the percentage at the bottom? Should we take attention to it when entering a trade? Thank you. So the bottom percentage is just going to be your change in delta from the last bar. It can help you visualize changes in delta from bar to bar, and with that, delta divergences or entropy. So you don't actually have to, it's just a visual aid. I use this visual aid to highlight when there is a very large discrepancy in between bars. but you don't use it on its own. Does it work in Top Step? Yes, absolutely, it does work in Top Step. All the prop firms do support this. This is not a considered by them a quote-unquote HFT or news strategy. So you are able to use this on Top Step. What is the max lot size you recommend? I don't recommend going over 15 contracts on Q and 20 on ES. Have you tried trading polarity with gold or oil? Yes. The thing with gold and oil though is that since they are commodities, they are also affected by a lot of external markets. So any kind of spot trading or trading on other exchanges is going to affect the asset itself in a way that is not correlated by market microstructure, meaning that your edge is not going to be as effective on commodities and Forex as if they were on an equity market where there is a centralized trading going on, like on NQ or ES, pretty much any index, or especially treasuries, because there really isn't a way to trade treasuries except through futures. Thank you for the comment. Someone just gave me an affirmation that regardless of the no trades today, that they're enjoying the stream. So thank you for that. Why are people like AlgoBox Pro bad-mouthing Features Analytica so much and saying that people use your software, blah, 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 you blow up your account all the time? You know, I have no idea. I don't really know Vinnie that much. I think that he actually had a couple of conversations a couple of years ago about algo trading, and he's an interesting guy to talk to. I would just chalk that up to me being in the same space as him and being considered a quote-unquote competitor. I don't know much about Vinnie in terms of what he does, but I mean, I can say that there hasn't been any substantiated proof from him of any of these things. And if you just say something without proof, I mean, what is that? You can just say anything you want. I mean, I think that's a little bit of an unfair distinction to make when you don't have anything to back it up. I remember that someone said that I was using an artificial delay to front run trades on my old live streams, so we eliminated the delay. And of course, nothing's changed. Still getting success. So very curious to see the explanation on that one. So that's always been a funny thing to me. What do you like to do in your free time? So I have quite a bit of hobbies. So I like to go to track days. I have a Corvette that I just absolutely adore. It is my baby. I drive that all the time. Just absolutely love the whole driving experience. So go to a ton of track days. If you guys are in the Southern California area, I'm sure you'll see me. Be sure to say hi. That'd be really cool, especially if any of you guys are into cars and stuff like that. I really like using my electric dirt bike on off-road trails. So much fun. I like mountain biking, downhill mountain biking, super fun. Love surfing. Haven't been surfing in the past couple months just because there's been other stuff going on. And I like camping. I like to travel. I like to read. Hold on. Sorry, I was just making sure I was in the right mode again. I got completely distracted because I'm just enjoying answering these questions. I'm just going to make a spreadsheet on this so it doesn't keep refreshing me. Hell yeah, fellow car guy / mountain biker in the trading space. Sick. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just haven't posted about it just because I feel like you guys aren't super interested in my personal life. You guys want to do trading and stuff, but yeah, absolutely. Love anything on wheels. It's super fun. I love spearfishing. Spearfishing has been so much fun. Just out in the blue water or reef diving, it is just a blast. Still haven't caught a yellowtail. Been trying so hard, but the weather's just been kind of terrible. But we're trying. I just started this summer, so. Can you create a similar system for other markets instead of NQ or SP, such as international markets? Yes, absolutely. This strategy does work on international markets as well. Just make sure you're not trading a non-centralized market like Forex or commodities. So if you want to trade Forex and commodities, there are other strategies for that. We will be releasing at some point a strategy that will be specialized, which is based on non-order flow. Order flow just isn't great at non-centralized markets. It just doesn't work as well. So this would be a non-order flow based strategy. But of course, we might not actually release it because we have to validate it and make sure that it's an actual trading style that is useful. Because if it's not useful to me, I don't want to release it. We've actually done quite a few different concept products that we just didn't want to release because the results weren't what we wanted to see. So always working on that. What would you say the best way to calculate entropy is? Each one has a different formula like Shannon and Kullback, Lieber divergence. Have you used one to help in picking modes? So I would highly suggest the Kullback-Lieber divergence. The Shannon and Colt's entropy calculation is not necessarily what you want to be looking at in terms of market microstructure. It isn't specialized to actually how the calculation on this, at least how I have interpreted how you should calculate entropy. Also, guys, let me know if the volume on these broadcasts is still too low. I increased it a little bit, and I won't be able to see it until I review. Do you travel a lot? What does that look like for someone with your responsibilities? So that's actually kind of a big reason why I started Futures Analytica. I like being able to have a level of secondary income. I get the question a lot where it's like, if you're making so much money trading, why would you sell a product? And the real answer is, why would you want to not sell a product if you're good at trading? I mean, you have 5 days a week to trade, and I doubt you actually want to trade every single day. So why not backfill your income during those days by selling the product? It's changed my life significantly. It's made me much happier in terms of just free time and peace. So yeah, it does give me more free time. I think that a lot of it has to do with making sure that I remain passionate about the company. If I overwork myself, I stop becoming passionate. So I like to do a lot of intentional free time where I am intentionally being thankful for what I have, and that gives me peace to come back to work and work on actually investing in the future of Futures Analytica. This leads to production of new strategies and the validation of those strategies because, like I said, we've come up with quite a few different product ideas, and a lot of them just haven't stood the test of rigorous live market performance that we want to see. They were profitable, they just weren't even nearly as profitable as Polarity. So we're still working on that. Always trying to increase our lineup to make sure that we're able to fit for more and more people. Yes, the volume is still low. That is super unfortunate, actually. Gonna try and increase it just a little bit more. I hope you're not trolling me here. I hope it's not like the blasting loud, but. Do you trade every single market open day regardless of not streaming? No, I don't. I usually do 2 sessions per week that I don't stream. It just gives me, sometimes I just don't like streaming. I don't know, I feel like that's understandable. It's kind of a hassle in terms of, hyping myself up, and sometimes I just don't want to talk. I don't want to interact with people, and I love talking with you guys. I love giving commentary. It's just that sometimes it's a lot. So the volume is definitely loud enough. Okay, that's my apologies, guys. Thank you for that comment. Will you remind people to hit the thumbs up? Yes, man. Guys, make sure to smash that like button. Yeah, so, I really think I've configured my polarity wrong today. I am so sorry about that, guys, but I'm probably going to end the stream for now. I will go live again today. I'm going to be watching the market, and I'm going to just make sure that I'm able to get you guys some actual content today, because once again, I am traveling until next week. So the next stream will be on Friday hold on, pulling up my calendar here. Friday the 15th. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for all the questions. I am so sorry that I'm not able to answer all of them. There's just so many. We have over 350 questions now. Just so sorry about that, guys. And I promise I'll get you guys another session by the end of the day. So really appreciate you guys tuning in.